Hello and welcome to day 3 of BuildTober. I once again would like to remind everyone that, although I have seen these prompts, I haven't had the time to think about them. I have a semi-strict time limit of 2 hours, but I might use less, and I am limited to the size of these plots. Now, without further ado, let's get started. And we have goal. I don't know if I have any initial thoughts about this prompt. Ghoul is a bit different than ghost. I'm thinking more green, maybe even blue like the color of the disc I used. I'm not gonna do another haunted house, obviously, that would be a terrible idea. But where do ghouls live? In forests? I could do a haunted forest. Okay. I just googled where ghouls live, and they live in cemeteries. Which is actually very neat, because I was going to put a cemetery outside of this house, but I felt like it was very little room for a cemetery. There'd be like 3 gravestones, which might have added to the atmosphere, but they might have also just stood out. So I was already playing with the idea of a graveyard earlier. But I think making an entire plot a graveyard would look rather nice. Fun fact about me though, I've never actually been to a graveyard, which kind of complicates things. I've seen them while driving past, and I've seen them on TV, but I've never actually seen a graveyard in person. So this will be interesting. Alright, and now for the final reveal. It's a box. There's a reason for this box. It's to make the inside look super dark, without having to be able to see everything else out here. So the first thing you're gonna need to do is grab this redstone torch. Why the redstone torch? It looks like it doesn't really do anything, but this will be the only way we can really see everything. Step in here, and it looks rather dark. To be completely honest, this is a rather simplistic build. It did almost take me the full 2 hours, simply because I was trying to do something cool with the roof, but it didn't come out right. I was trying to put candles in between layers of glass and make it kind of look like the stars in the sky. And all those candles, there are so many candles, all those candles are lit, but you can't really see them. They do make it so at least it doesn't look super dark and you can still see some of the texture on the roof for the fog and clouds. I was going to add like fog in here, but I didn't want to put a bunch of glass everywhere and impede the walkability. But as you can see, you can't really see what's in those corners, and that's where the redstone torch comes in. I have a mod which allows me to kind of shine light while holding torches and stuff. I was thinking a lantern would be cool. Also, a really funny sign to just stand here for. But I was thinking a lantern would be cool because you really carry around lanterns more than torches. Although people do still carry around torches. But I think it adds atmosphere to have to carry around something, or else you're in pitch black. But once we come in here, here's the shulker box with the ghoul. Once we come in here, you kind of just see the whole graveyard. Maybe you go up to a sign a man of great renown. Apostrophe means missing letters. Maybe you notice it's really dark over here, but you have a torch. You can walk up. This is Jim Jimerson. These people were poor. It's hard to afford stone when you can't afford food. Go to this headstone. Who? Someone, I guess. Someone without a life. I'll show you that one in a moment. So, maybe you start by going here. Who's this person? Here lies John Terrence, brother of a mother. That's all. I didn't want to come up with names and have them accidentally be someone else's name. So I just tried to write jokes, but I'm not funny at all. My sense of humor is completely dim compared to actual people's sense of humor. But maybe you notice, hey, there's a piece of paper in here. What's that piece of paper say? Find the nameless grave? Oh. Well, personally, we've already looked over here, so we know... These are names. Jim Jimerson. These people were poor. They've got signs on them. They've got names. This is a name. A man of great renown. I suppose technically a lot of these aren't actually names. Jim Jimerson is like the only name here. But they've got signs on them, so that's gotta be indicative of a name, right? This is who? Someone, I guess. Then you look over here, you get this joke. It's not very funny. Then you look over here and you go, can't really put names on these ones. Missed any. Without it looking funny, so just ignore any of this style. Oh, that's nice. That means despite this one not having a name, I can ignore it. What I was trying to go for was more of a story than a build. Because once I settled on graveyard, I felt like there wasn't much I could do with the graveyard when the plot's so small. Like if the plot were bigger, you could have more of a crypt and create more of a look. But I really wanted to focus on the graveyard style. And so the crypt ended up being rather small. But you look over here and you see there's another one of this style, so we can ignore it. And then there's this sign, which is indicative of a name. Here lies a man. Why would a man be here? Karma. 'Cause he's dead? Not funny, I know. But you'll notice this one. This grave doesn't have a name. Who's at this grave? A head. Just a head in a pool of blood. Ghoul key. There's a book here. I can't find it. I've searched everywhere. I just have to look behind that last headstone. The one on the far left. But I sense something's been following me for a while now. I don't think I have much longer. Maybe finding this key will save me. I don't know what else to do. I can't turn back. I've come too far. I just need that key. The key will save me. And those were his last words. Now, if this is the entrance, then the far left is this way. Let's follow the path. Gravestone on the far left. This one? Or this one? This one has a name. But we've already figured out that clue. And this is the farthest on the left. Must be this one. And there's the goal key right behind it. It's hard to see if you don't have the torch, so you have the goal key. Now, because this is where the journey starts and this is the thing that's locked up, one would assume you use the goal key here. But I didn't get that far. I don't think I could possibly get that far in my state right now. Because I don't know any redstone. It would take me ages to figure it out. So unfortunately, you have to use your imagination a little bit. So let's say we take this key over here and this goes down. What do keys do? They unlock things. They also lock things. But this is already locked. See all the iron bars? Which means, if we unlocked it, we unleash the ghoul. The ghoul is possibly John Terrence, the brother of a mother. And that's what I did for the prompt. I kinda like it. I do wish I could have incorporated more, but I think with the small amount of space I have, it's hard to really incorporate so much, because really we went from here to here to here. I suppose the nameless grave could have been over here, but I had already done the terrain and I didn't want to run over my time because I've got a lot to do, unfortunately. But this might be something I'm willing to revisit way in the future when I have more time, because I think it's a neat little thing, especially with how dark it is. And if you have, I forget what the mod is called, but it allows you to see a little bit if you're holding a torch or something. You could put the torch here, and then you actually have a free hand for the book, read signs, to put the key in. This could be something really interesting that I do later on. Or it could be nothing. I play a little bit of Phasmophobia. I've been meaning to upload a video on that, because I filmed one a while back, but I have not finished editing it. For some reason it just feels strenuous. And I was thinking about maybe streaming and then uploading them as VODs, which I wouldn't edit very much, or at all. But then I'd have to stream, and streaming does seem like it could be really fun, especially if you've created a community. But at the same time, I'm a little odd, but I really like Phasmophobia. It does scare me so bad. But the reason I'm talking about Phasmophobia is because carrying around this torch kind of reminds me of it. And by that I mean sometimes it's super dark, and you have to turn off your lights when something's hunting. But you still have a light on your shoulder, so if you get up close to something, you can sort of find your way around. That's what this little redstone torch reminds me of. That was the graveyard for the ghoul theme. It's gonna look really bad compared to everything else. What I really kind of started liking since I started this was that I could see all the buildings as I'm doing the next one, which I felt like was very fun, because it's like an assortment of different things. That's for atmosphere, ignore that. It felt like an assortment of different buildings, and you could kind of see how they differ and how they connect to the prompts. And I thought this would look really good with just a graveyard next to that house, which is next to that house. But then I needed to add the black concrete in order to give it atmosphere. So unfortunately, the next build I have will just be next to a black concrete box. Takes away from the scenery. I'm actually I rather like this one. I think it has a lot of potential for expansion, even though it's not that great currently. But if you've come this far and you've reached day 3, thank you. I hope to see you again.